Yeah, here's a good one. Sam SVG gave us $50. Thank you, Sam. Hey guys, lost my wife this past June. She loved banjo speedruns, so here's some money for a great cause, a great game, and a great runner.
This is Stivity Bobo. He's a speedrunner that was recently banned on speedrun.com. Yet he never cheated in any of his speedruns ever. He was banned in the only speedrun leaderboard that's actually used in speedrunning. On top of that, his runs were ultimately removed from the leaderboard, which he has a world record in. Stivity Bobo is so good at Banjo-Kazooie, his world record is 2 minutes faster than the second place time. The real reason that Stivity Bobo was banned on speedrun.com is because somebody named Kapora Deborah made a pastebin titled Trigger Word RPE Giant Waffle Stivity Bobo. It's time to tell the story of SGDQ 2014. This pastebin got 700 retweets and 2.7 thousand likes. If you read the pastebin, she claims that Giant Waffle and Stivity Bobo both raped her at SGDQ 2014 6 years ago. This went semi-viral online back in 2014, and even a subreddit named Sam and Tolkien spawned because of this. That subreddit was recently banned. Nobody knows why it was banned, although I believe it has something to do with this. But why was Stivity Bobo banned 2 months ago in July of 2020 when this happened 6 years ago in 2014? Well, that's because in 2014, the story was actually a lot different than it was now. Now, in Tolkien's statement, and you can read this if you want, it's going to be in the description below. Also, make sure to like and comment while you're down there. Tolkien shares a pretty graphic and dark story and goes into a lot of details on how exactly she was, in her words, raped by Giant Waffle and Stivity Bobo. But there's a few things I find highly questionable about this pastebin. Number one, there's no evidence in this pastebin or in this statement anywhere. There is absolutely nothing she says in this statement that has any evidence to back it up at all. There's no screenshots, there's no text messages. Nobody knows when exactly this happened. Nobody knows when her husband, Sam, left the apartment. Nobody has a corroborating story to back up her claims. She simply claims that Giant Waffle and Stiv assaulted her without any evidence. The other problem is that Giant Waffle, a few weeks after this, came out and specifically said that he did not assault her. He denied her claim and effectively called her a liar. The third thing I find very weird about the story is that she changed the narrative. There was an agreed on narrative from 2014 up until this point where she cheated on her husband consensually. There was no foul play by Stivity Bobo. On Deborah's Twitter in 2016, she released a statement very clearly saying she cheated on her husband. 2 years ago, I cheated on Sam. That's her ex-husband. It was horrible whirlwind of mistakes and bad choices. I blame myself for a lot of it. I was in a really bad place emotionally and had lost sight of the person I wanted to be. I immediately regretted what I had done. I was so scared, I thought there was no way I could ever have a life I actually wanted. She goes on to talk more, and then eventually she says she's become a better person at the end of the day, and she's trying to better herself. Even in Stivity Bobo's words in 2014, when this originally happened, he made a statement saying this was consensual. They both knew that they were cheating, and she was married. In 2016, after Deborah's statement, her ex-husband Sam came out and said she was very brave for coming out with this. So it seems like there was a very clearly agreed on narrative that she cheated on her ex-husband. She got drunk on her own volition. Now let's be real, she was taken advantage of to some degree, but was she raped? There's no evidence of that. There was an established narrative where that did not happen. In her 2020 statement, she claims she made the pastebin in 2016 because her ex-husband, Sam, pushed me to make a statement about how I cheated. I thought I deserved to be shamed. I was silenced. I don't think she actually was silenced, because she made a statement, and her ex-husband Sam even said, Tolkien has chosen to be silent. Unless that guy is secretly really abusive and controlling, I don't think she was silenced. Okay guys, it is possible what she said in the statement, and it's very graphic and detailed. It's possible that it's real, and this is real, and we need to believe her, right? There's a case for that. But the problem here I'm running into is that Tolkien accused two dudes from 2014 of raping her, and she has absolutely no evidence to back this up. One of the guys even flat out denied it. And yet, Stivity Bobo got banned on Speedrun.com because of the accusation. Keep in mind, nothing she says has any proof whatsoever. On top of that, there was already a running narrative, and a lot of people agreed that this is what happened. I don't want to believe that she's a liar, but either Stivity Bobo lied or she lied. One of them has to have lied. But to ban somebody on speedrun.com over this and effectively remove his times, I think is a little bit extreme. New speedrunners in this game, or random people that go to this leaderboard, will never know who Stivity Bobo is. And if they ask the community, they're going to assume the worst out of Stivity Bobo. Why isn't he on the leaderboard? Wait a minute. He sexually raped somebody? Wow, that's terrible. Good thing he's not on the leaderboard. They'll forget that there's no evidence, and Speedrun.com basically supports the accusation. I find this extra weird because there was a document created recently called the Allegations in Speedrunning document. It's a document that is combining all of the allegations and accusations of abuse in speedrunning. This to me is a gigantic WTF because a lot of these allegations are very likely that they happened and they're very serious crimes. And then some of the other accusations are obviously not true, or they're just incredibly petty. For example, take Sarium's story. Sarium is an Earthbound speedrunner, and he was accused of something from an anonymous story in 2018. Let's read this anonymous story. What you're looking at is the entire accusation. It's an anonymous accusation. At GDQ when I was 17 years old, I was in the lobby with a bunch of friends and Sarium comes in drunk. It starts out fine, but he starts making sexual comments towards me regarding my age and fucking me. He was in his late 20s, I think. This went on for a bit before others told him to knock it off, and we left. I thought nothing of it at the time, but it was really weird in hindsight. How is this an accusation? This is nonsense. The guy is drunk, for God's sake. Did he do anything illegal? Doesn't look like it. Did he say anything illegal? Highly doubt it. Did he even do this? There's no way to tell. Does this person even exist? Nobody knows because it's an anonymous accusation. This is absolute BS. But for some reason, this is on this document. Personally, I think this document's not really doing a lot for anybody. I think it's just putting certain people under a spotlight and adding a lot of stress to their lives. It's not really accomplishing anything. On top of that, people like Worcester, they don't even have their response up. Worcester pretty much cleared his name. He provided actual proof and good evidence to say that he never had a criminal record and the claims against him were not true. Yet his response is not on here. Some of these speedrunners, though, were also banned on speedrun.com. Remember the Banjo-Kazooie leaderboards where Stiv has the world record? There are two other runners on these leaderboards that were in the allegations document. One Up Girl Zaltis and Blaze Flozard. Both of their runs were anonymized. This means that the audio was removed and the video feed was cropped so that it's entirely and only the video feed. You can actually tell who submitted the run through the submission on the actual run submission, so they kind of failed to make it anonymous. But what's interesting to me is that Blaze Flozard is in fact banned because of these allegations, but One Up Girl Zaltis is not banned because of these allegations. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I was hoping that they would all be banned or none of them would be banned. I also find it weird because Blaze Flozard actually admitted that some of the stuff he did was weird and in a way he made a mistake. So I suppose there's a case that he's wrong. But Stiv never did that. In fact, from 2014 and from 2017, Stiv claimed the exact opposite of the allegations. Why do I care about this so much? because I'm a speedrunner and I've been using this website for a while, and I've noticed there's an incredible lack of consistency in the rules, and to me, this highlights that problem. There's been a trend of banning people in speedrunning and ostracizing people in the gaming world for accusations against their character, but in the speedrunning community, at least in my experiences, cheating has pretty much always been ignored, where I think cheating is actually a really big deal, and it's really offensive to the runners, and it destroys the communities. Does anybody remember Connor Ace? He's the guy who made a fake cluster truck run to get into GDQ over another runner. Apollo Legend made a video on him with 2.6 million views. He's not banned on speedrun.com. Anybody remember Downtime Death? He's the guy that was cheating in A Link to the Past in 2016, 2018, and 2019. He's not banned on speedrun.com, and neither are both of his alt accounts that he was entering tournaments in unfairly. In fact, in the 2019 tournament, he had 2 alt accounts in the tournament, yet none of his accounts are banned. Anybody remember Anti_? He's not the Smash player, he's a speedrunner. And he cheated over a year straight and kept denying it. In fact, R White Goose made a YouTube video on him. They got 1.9 million views, yet he's not banned. To add to this, this guy was caught downloading lolicon images. This guy lives in Australia. This is actually a crime. This is a serious crime, one that's been prosecuted before. I went to speedrun.com to find the rules. The only way to even find the rules is to go to the About section, and in yellow text in the middle it says Cite Rules. But believe it or not, there are no rules on here. They're simply guidelines. The following are examples of bannable behavior. So there are no rules for being banned, which is why cheaters don't get banned, yet they were able to ban Stiv. If you get banned, there are examples of why you may have been banned, but there aren't actually rules that you can explicitly break on speedrun.com. This is something I find pretty disturbing. Strider7x, he's another speedrunner that was accused of rape, and this one did have some evidence. He's not banned on speedrun.com. If speedrun.com wants to ban everybody that's accused of every type of offense, I'm all for it. Can other speedrunners at least have some consistency in the rules? Or at least for there to be rules that are explicitly stated? Examples of bannable behavior is stupid. Those aren't rules. And if they are rules, they certainly aren't being carried out at all. I've been talking about this on my stream. I really think the speedrunning community has a really big problem right now where masculinity and being an alpha gamer is kind of ridiculed and it's looked at as a bad thing or it's ignored. A lot of speedrunners, myself included, have grown up in the not the most ideal situation with maybe without the best role models. And a lot of us look to play video games to kind of fulfill a competitive need and a desire to win and desire to overcome. That's what I was doing a lot of my world record attempts for, and it seems like that's consistently neglected and it's ignored, where somebody posts something on Twitter that has no evidence for it and it's actually contradictory with a bunch of other information. That's hailed as very important and you must believe it and it has to go all the way. But if another guy's cheating, like Downtime Death for example back in 2016, and somebody says, well, I'm accusing him of cheating, you get ridiculed, you get criticized, and that guy gets a free pass. And to me, that just seems really ridiculous and really silly. Right now, we're not seeing people get banned on speedrun.com because of any type of rules, any kind of consistency, and none of this has anything to do with speedrunning. People are getting banned based on whose feelings are being validated, whose feelings are being invalidated, and who's getting attention and who's the biggest victim. And that's a really big problem for speedrunning. There's been a very clear decline in the past few years. Nobody cares about world records anymore. It's very hard for new streamers to get any viewers at all. Games Done Quick is a complete disaster. They're very political. They constantly blacklist and ban runners, really for no reason. I don't want to see speedrun.com go that same road, and it seems like it is going down that same road. What we need to do to fix this problem, we need real rules on speedrun.com instead of these lofty examples of a reason why you may have been banned. We need to actually start banning cheaters, and I think there should be some way to reform cheaters back into the community if they can actually accept what they did was a problem and that it damaged the community and they won't do it again, then we can get those cheaters to actually become good speedrunners, contributing to the marketplace. And finally, we need to stop banning people for accusations. If somebody's accused of something and there's a good body of evidence to back it up, I think that's a little bit different. If somebody's accused of something lofty and there is no evidence of this at all, why are they getting banned on speedrun.com, a website that's primarily trying to track speedrun times? Anyway, guys, I'm going to see you later. Make sure to comment and subscribe and like the video. Let me know what you think should be done to fix speedrun.com. Let me know your favorite example of a cheater that's not banned on speedrun.com. There's a ton of examples out there. I only mentioned a few. I will see you guys in the next video. And also, if you guys want to support me, make sure to go to my Twitch channel, hit the follow button, and you can subscribe with Twitch Prime or a regular subscription. You can also go to my Patreon and subscribe to one of my tiers and join the Alpha Gaming Mindset Discord.